Coming up, I'm going to show you 8 ways to help your garden thrive, and you can do these things in the month of January. Hi, I'm Wendy. Welcome to the Mountain Farmhouse. I had to come indoors because it was so cold outside. Yes, it's winter and it's January. So I am dreaming of digging in the dirt in my garden, but it's a few months away. We have a very short season as we're here in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York, and we love it here. It's beautiful even when it's freezing cold out. What I'm going to talk to you about today is the 8 ways that you can help your garden thrive even though it's January and it's cold. I also have a free printable to offer for you, and I'll leave a link in the description box below. So, let's begin. My first tip is to inventory your saved seeds. Did you save seeds from your garden last year? If you didn't, I highly recommend doing so. And what I do is I put them in these little envelopes, and I label them with the type of seed it is, and I put the date on there. These are kind of old. I do keep some seeds beyond just 1 year. Many seeds do keep that long as you store them in a cool, dry place. And I keep mine in a shoebox in the refrigerator. If you have a huge amount of seeds, you might want to put them in a large bin and keep them in a cool place like a cellar or basement. My second tip is to organize your seed catalogs. Don't you love getting these in the mail and just jotting inside of them, dog-earing the pages, and just dreaming of when the weather is warmer? I do. When you have them and you put them in order, then you can easily refer back to them at any time. It also helps to keep them all consolidated and culled when you are putting together your garden plan, which brings me to tip number 3. Tip number 3, make your garden plan. Here are a couple of examples of old garden plans. Now, when I drew these out, I took into consideration my saved seeds as well as what I had charted out in my garden catalogs. So, took those things, combined them, and I drew up a garden plan. I do like using pencil and paper to do that, and I use graph paper. That makes it easier because I try to measure as precisely as I can. Then I go online to the Mother Earth News Garden Planner. I subscribe. It's a small cost, but it is worth it. You get a really comprehensive, easy tool to make your garden plan online, and it has little pictures of what the plants sort of look like, little representations, as well as fencing and gravel and mulch and structures that you would put in your garden. You can customize it in many different ways. So I do both. I like to write it out, but I also like to have the computerized version as well. Now that you have your garden plan in place, or at least a rough draft maybe, you can go on to tip number 4, which is to clean and repair your garden tools. I like to use a little sharpener. This functions very similarly to a kitchen knife sharpener, and you just run your blade through like that, and it gets the edge sharp. The other thing I like to do, I like to get them all cleaned up. I have a mudroom sink that works really, really well, but I also use rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle, and I wipe them down with that. Then I like to put a little coat of mineral oil on them. You can even, for bonus points, go one step further after you have a coat of oil on your sharpened tools and just plunge them into a bucket of clean sand. Tip number 5, shovel your snow. Keep your walkways clear. Make sure you have a nice clean path to your compost pile. and get some fresh air and exercise while you can. Tip number 6. You will have some nice days. They'll be unseasonably warm, and on those days you'll want to clean up some garden debris that either you may have missed in the fall or that has sort of happened along the way. So take advantage of those few and far between nice days. Tip number 7. Check your canning supplies, take inventory, and make sure that everything is clean and put away nicely. Make sure you have your jars. How many funnels do you have? Your lids, your rings. Also make sure that if you're decluttering that you don't keep too many of these supplies as well. You want to have just enough. So that's it. 8 tips to help your garden thrive in the month of January in the cold winter. Don't forget to snag your free printable. I'll leave the link below, and on the bottom you have space to write in your own tips. And if you would, please comment below and let me know what those tips are. I'd love to know. And also, if you like this, give a thumbs up and subscribe. And I hope that you'll come back to visit me at the Mountain Farmhouse again soon.